Uh-oh. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, guys. How is everybody doing this morning? It is Friday morning. It is actually Good Friday. And isn't that interesting that on Good Friday we are at this part of the Bible where the crucifixion and the resurrection is at hand. I find it rather interesting. Is it by chance? Or was it divinely orchestrated? Who knows? But anywho, welcome into the live, everybody. Welcome into the early morning live. This is your host, Trev from Traverse and from Stale News. And this morning, as always, we are going to be moving into the reading of the Bible. Now we gather here every morning for that purpose and that purpose only. That is to read the Bible, not with any religious conviction to say, but rather, this is my journey. This is not your ordinary scripture lesson live where people are touting scriptures and trying to convince or convert you into believing what they believe. This is a different type of a Bible reading. I am sharing my curiosity with y'all because I have been curious for a while about the contents of the Bible. And so I have decided to read it not just to myself, but to read it out loud, because I know a lot of you love the Bible, but you don't want to read it. It's you can't be bothered. Right boot? Right boot for the left foot? Yeah. Them no want to bother read it. And so with my preface of me not condoning any particular religion or denomination, that is not why I have come here. Do not confuse my presence here with the presence of others who are in the business of converting you into something, into believing something. That is not my purpose, never was, and will never be, because one of the most diverse things to ever exist amongst humans is our thought process. Yeah, we have been indoctrinated, we have been socialized into believing one particular version of life and to ignore or abhor other versions of life that's experienced by other humans. I do not subscribe to that. So this morning, like every morning, we gather here for the simple reading of the Bible, so that not just that I can tap myself on the shoulder and say I've read the Bible from beginning to end, but also I can have conversations with people about the contents of the Bible. If I do not remember straight off the bat something that is being brought up, then at least with reference, I can go back to the Bible and reread it and refamiliarize myself with the content that I had already read. And I say this all the time, that reading the Bible is not, or reading any book for that matter, it's not just calling the words. It's not just picking, it's not for picking a particular verse or a particular sentence, a particular paragraph, and using that one paragraph to describe the contents of the entire book. Now, I notice that a lot of people do that with the Bible. They pick one verse somewhere, and they use that one verse. They'll use that one verse to preach, to teach, and to beat you. You understand? They don't care. That one single verse, they will use it repeatedly. But what they fail to present to their listeners is the context under which that verse was used. And for me, that is not enough. I want context. I don't want somebody coming telling me something and I don't know who spoke those words. Under what circumstances were those words spoken? To whom were they speaking? I want to know before I can embrace what it is you are saying. And so that is why when I come here to read the Bible, I stop and I pause. You all hear my confusions at times when I'm like just as lost as you are, being unsure of what does this mean? And as I'm talking about being lost and wondering some of the times what the stuff in the Bible means, yesterday when we were reading, remember Jesus was talking of telling the disciples this parable about like a bride and a groom getting married and having invited people to the wedding. But when the day of the wedding came, they were nobody showed up, but they had all this food. So they decided, well, we need people here at the wedding. We need guests and we need people to eat the food. So they were instructed, go out and just gather people, gather anybody, and bring them to this feast, bring them to the wedding. And they gathered all the people they could find in the vineyards and on the street and everywhere. And they brought them into the palace for the wedding. But there was one individual who was not dressed for the wedding. And that individual was brought and put in prison because they said he wasn't dressed for the wedding. And that stumped me yesterday. And throughout the day, I tried to figure out what in the world does that mean? I still was not able to find any literature that would explain it in a way that would make me comfortable with it. I figure that as I read along, I might come across something else that might explain why that individual was taken to jail because he wasn't dressed for the wedding. But I am not sure. I am not sure about that. And I'm not sure about anything in the Bible. I'm just reading it and trying to understand it. And when I flub, when I blub, when I don't get it right, when I don't know, it's not about right or wrong. As a matter of fact, I'm not here to try to understand it, to try to get it right. That's not why I'm here. Okay, because I don't know. I'm just reading it because you see the book was presented to me just like it was presented to you. And I think if it was presented to me as my moral guide, I should at least know what's in it. Okay? So that particular parable yesterday, that was the part I didn't understand about the guy being put into prison. Because if you just take me unaware and say, you know what, we're having a party down there, we need some people to fill the seats and we need some people to eat the food, come along. You have caught me at a vulnerable moment. I'm not dressed for a wedding. I didn't plan for a wedding. I didn't go out and get a brand new suit. I didn't go out and get a brand new shoe. You just grab me out of the vineyard and say, come, we need people. We need bodies. We need numbers for this wedding. And we need people to eat the food. And here I come. And the next thing I know, I'm being taken to jail because I was not dressed appropriately for this wedding. Um, in biblical terms, in religious terms, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that should mean. But if there's anybody here If there's anybody here who has some kind of a conviction about what that might have meant, you are welcome to share it. I don't mind people sharing what they have read, what they think they know, what they believe. We can always agree to disagree, or we can be set on a path to agreement. Whatever the case may be, it is okay. I am fine with you sharing your knowledge on whatever it is that we are talking about. What I do not, what I do not, and I repeat, do not. We Unlock is here. We Unlock is here. How are you doing? Winsome. Winsome said, Trev, you're early. You can't sleep. No, Winsome. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I've been up since like 2:30. Sometimes, things, you know what I mean. I mean, them time up because he never dressed for the wedding. Yes, Winsome, they did. And that is why I'm saying I am not sure why or how does that fit into the religious frame for that parable. I don't understand how it fits into it. Because if you say, I can't with sis. If if you say, if you say, well, let's try to interpret this parable and say, this wedding is supposed to be the coming together of the people unto Christ. But the people who is there for, the people he has invited, which would have been the Jewish people, because remember he said he came not for everybody else, just for the lost sheep of Israel. Those are the people he came for. So if you put it in those terms and you say, well, maybe he meant that, he has come for the people, for the Jewish people, to bring them back together so that they can re-establish themselves in the region, re-establish their community, their culture, their country, and they can also reestablish their religion in the region. But they are not coming. Enough of them are not leaving Egypt and coming back. They are not leaving wherever, Syria, wherever they have run. They have all run away. So but they're not coming back to you as you would have expected them to. And you say, well, all right then. If they are not coming, we are just going to call everybody, anybody. We just need people. We need to reestablish Israel. So let's just get everybody. And you say that, and everybody starts coming, whether they are Jew, Gentile, Pharisees, Sadducees, whoever. Everybody is just coming into Israel, and I guess claiming now whatever Christ has to offer. Why would this one individual be singled out because he's not dressed for the wedding? I am still a little bit confused. Was he one single person from one particular country that, from one particular country or one particular tribe that was definitely not invited? Was he, did he represent a particular group that Christ definitely did not want at the wedding? I don't know. Because if you arbitrarily calls everybody, then you have to understand that if you call everybody, then anybody can come, and you're gonna have just about anybody there. So that part I did not get. But you all can share with me if you all are thinking the same or thinking differently. You all are welcome to share with me. Right, we Unlock? All right. I see somebody here, Dr. Jim. I see, what is Let Rice and Trinket and Miss Boob and several other people. Welcome into the live, guys. Thank you all so much for stopping by. All right. So yes, we are locked. I appreciate that. Yeah, I wish somebody would help me out and share their thoughts on what that that particular story really means in Jesus's terms, in his parables. What would that mean? But since we don't know, you don't want to get me talking about the biblical text. Well, I mean, I appreciate everybody's contribution because remember, I am not here. It's not like I'm a theologian. I'm teaching you something that I had learned somewhere. That's not the case here. I am I am just reading the Bible for myself and trying to get an understanding of the content. And in so doing, I've decided to not just keep it to myself, but to share it out loud with whomever is here, whoever comes into my channel and listen. I just don't appreciate the people who like to come here for the purposes of trying to they try to condemn me for my views or whatever. And most of it is not just my view, it's based on what I'm reading in the Bible. I don't appreciate those people. And a lot of people who call themselves Christian, that is how they claim to defend their Christianity. And if you believe in your Christianity, believe in whatever you believe in, there should be nothing that you have to defend. The fact that you find it important to defend it to the point where you want to condemn somebody, it tells me that you know that there has to be some anomalies in your belief and you do not want to have to face those. So when somebody brings it to the forefront and you have to ask yourself the pertinent questions, you get offended. Don't get offended. Believe what you believe. If you don't like what you hear, you have your phone in your hand. You have that power. So if you do not like what you are hearing, you are welcome to leave. End of story. Maxine is here. Maxine, bless up yourself. Good morning, my love. How are you doing? Well, Winsome said, Trev, did you watch the video I sent you? Which video you sent me, Winsome? When you sent me that video there? Yesterday? You didn't see no video. You have to go send it again. Because I'm frequently deleting videos. When you send me that video, sis? Yesterday? Oh, we probably all delete it, to be honest with you. Because this morning my phone was telling me that it had reduced storage. And so I just went straight into my photos and started to delete stuff without even looking at them. I just started deleting. So maybe it got deleted. I don't know. I'll check when I'm done because I'm using that phone right now. But welcome, Benji. Welcome to everybody else. So, guys, you are welcome to get your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one you have close by, and let us read together. This morning we are reading St. Matthew chapters 23 and 24. All right. So let us begin. So when sometimes I'm talk about the thing. Let us begin, guys. You are welcome. You are welcomed to get your book Bible and join us. Hey, Florence, how you doing? The breadwinner is here. My friend right boot on the left foot is here. Damien is here, and others. Let us begin. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Interesting. That means, what does that mean? Does that mean that because they are, what's my pen stop right? Does that mean what does it mean when he said they sit in Moses' seat? Because they are now in control of Israel. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. That's interesting. Let me read that again, people. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in the seat of Moses. Well, that could be interpreted as they sit in the seat of Moses. That means that they are now the rulers of Israel. They now control the country. All therefore, who whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. Yeah. He said, whatever them tell you to do, do. Whatever they tell you to observe, they tell you to observe Saturday, observe Saturday. They tell you observe Sunday, observe Sunday. Whatever they tell you to observe, that you should do. But do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. Yeah, they say they're gonna do, but they don't do. I guess they are like the two sons that he spoke about in yesterday's reading, where he said there were two sons. Which one would you trust more? The son that says he was going to do but didn't do, or the son that says he was not going to do what his father told him to do, but then afterwards had a change of heart and went to do it? Which one would you trust more? So I guess it is like this. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, he's telling them, do not do what they say, because their works, they say they're going to do stuff, but they really don't do it. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. Okay? Yeah. The things that they want you to do is so burdensome for you, it's almost unachievable. But they want you to accomplish it. Yet they would never they could never attempt to do something like that. He said that they stick to their tradition while espousing the words. Okay, Maxine says it's saying that they stick to their tradition while espousing the word. Of course, yes, because they are not Jews. So even though they are now in authority in Israel, they are not going to suddenly adopt the Jewish ways and teach it to the people. No, they are going to continue with their own ways, their own beliefs and traditions. So here he said to the Jewish people, you can't follow them, because what they are going to tell you to do is not in alignment with what you are expected to do as a Jewish person. Verse 5, but all their works they do to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are your brethren. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. So here Jesus is telling the Jewish people, don't go by what these people are telling you to do. These people are in the position to rule over Israel at the moment. And because of that, they sit in the seat of Moses. They have the authority. They now hold that position of authority where they are able to tell you what to do. But don't follow them, because what they are telling you to do is not the Jewish way to do things. Okay? Don't call them father. They want you to call them father. Don't call them father. They just like to they like to show off. They like to sit in the feast. They want to sit up on top and everybody looking at them. And they are the center of attraction. And all the attention is on them. That's what they like. So that's why they want you to call them rabbi, rabbi, rabbi. So they can seem important. That's what Jesus is saying to the Jewish people. But he says in verse 9 of chapter 23, call no man your father upon the earth. For one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. Verse 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. So therefore, you see, Jesus is saying to them, don't give anybody the title of your God. Yeah, don't give another man, another ordinary, regular man, the title of your God. Your God in heaven is who you call master. He's who you call the Father, not somebody on earth. That's not your father. That is your servant. That's your servant, not your father, not your master. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, he make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Fritz, Mano, Carl, and the breadwinner, welcome into the live. Thank you for stopping by. Verse 16 of chapter 23. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools and blind! For whether is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifies the gold? And whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing. But whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. God is in the place. You wake up early. Good morning, madam. How are you doing? Hello, Freed Street. How are you doing? Verse 19. Ye fools and blind! For whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sacrifices the gift? Whosoever therefore shall swear by the altar swears by it, and by all things thereon. And whosoever shall swear by the temple swears by it, and by him that dwells therein. And he that shall swear by heaven swears by the throne of God and by him that sits thereon, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought he to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Okay. Now you all got that. See, Jesus is saying to the people that they pay their tithes with spices, mint and anise and cumin. But what they need to really pay their tithe with is something that is more valuable, something more weightier, the Bible says. Means something heavier, but it means something more valuable, like your faith, judgment, mercy. The matters of the law are of more importance than the spices that you are required to pay for your tithe. And we can put that in even in the terms of today. It could mean that rather than thinking that because you throw a big offering in church or a big tithe, that, oh, you have done your due diligence, but yet you have exercised no faith, no mercy for your fellow man, no grace for your fellow man. You really didn't tithe at all. You really didn't give anything. It's rather worthless what you believe you had given, because you did not give the most important thing. Verse 24, he blind guides which strain at a goat and swallow a camel. Wait, let's read that again. Verse 24. He blind guides, ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat. That's a gnat. That's not a O. He blind guides which strain at a gnat. The gnat, the little fly, GNAT. And hear me talking about goat. Which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Ain't that something? Verse 25, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye may clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchre, which indeed appear beautiful outwards, but are within full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanliness. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we have been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, ye serpents, ye generation of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? That's interesting. When some say, I sent you something and that yesterday. Okay. I will check it out when I'm done, my lovely sister. I thank you so much. They want to live by their sacrifices and not by God's requirement of faith, so they may be seen by others. Yes, they just want to show off. They don't want to, yeah, they just want to show off. Like, I, I can throw a big tithe. Oh, I don't know. Here is my tithe. Everybody see that I just paid $50,000. Yeah, they just want to show off. They just want to be seen. They just want everybody to adore them and to respect them. But they don't want to do the right thing. They don't want to do the things that are the intangible things that are of much more importance than the tangible things. They don't want to engage that. So no grace, no understanding, no love. No, they don't have time for that. Yeah, they just want to be seen as important. You see some people, even these days, you see politicians. Some politicians, they just want to politic. That's all they want to do. They just have an ego. That's all they want to fulfill, an ego. They do not want to go there to serve the people. They don't want nobody call them. They don't want nobody bother them. They do not represent the people wholly. No, they just want the prize. They just want to be there as a politician so they can roll around in their Rolls Royce or whatever, and everybody can look at them and adore them and celebrate them. And when people see them coming, people clap and roll out the red carpet. That's all they want. It's just their ego. But they don't go in there to serve the people who elect them. Yeah, there are lots of those kinds of politicians. So these were the same, like the Sadducees and the Pharisees, the hypocrites. Yeah. Let's move right along. Verse 33 says, Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall unalive and crucify, and some of them shall he scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous bloodshed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, the son of Barakas, whom he slew between the temple and the altar. Oh, can you remember that story there? I have to go back and go find that story there. I'm gonna have to go back and find that story. Not today though. I'm gonna have to go back and find that story and read it for y'all. The story of Zacharias. We know the story of Cain and Abel, how Cain slew his brother Abel, but here we have the story of Baccharius, the story of Zacharias, the son of Barachias. I don't so remember this story, so I really can't expound on that right now because I remember it. Verse 36 said, Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that unalivest the prophets, and stones them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings, and he would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till he shall say, Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. Here ends the reading Hey, Gary Foster, how you doing? Gangster Granny, what's up? Keem Dollar, Yvonne, welcome. Here ends the reading of Matthew chapter 23, guys. We are going to be moving on to, hey, Keisha, what's up? To Matthew chapter 24. So come along with me. Thanks to those of you who are contributing to the chat. I sincerely appreciate you. Let us move right along. Matthew chapter 24. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, what shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. We're going to start reading chapter 24 again. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. No stone now go left that now go fall ground. We're going to topple over everything. In essence, that's what he's saying. Hey Greg, how you doing? TikTok, what's up? Mitchy Boo is in the place. Mitchy Boo, what's up? How are you doing, my sister? Blessed Friday morning to you. Happy Easter to you, my love. How are you doing? Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdoms against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to the afflicted, and shall unalive you, and he shall be hated for all nations. He shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Interesting. Verse 15. When he therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Stand in the holy place. Whosoever reads, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. What's the connection between the winter and the Sabbath day? Interesting. Our card. What's up with that card? I don't understand when I tell them woe be unto, he said, woe be unto the person who is with child. That means the person who is pregnant. And woe be unto the person who is breastfeeding. I mean, me not get it. When people them they were there, why the person who is with child is going to be in such dire strait, or the person who is breastfeeding? Is it because there is going to be famine? So those people are going to, yeah, a pregnant woman wouldn't survive famine for much longer, for too long, I should say. Neither would a woman who is breastfeeding, because if she's breastfeeding and she has to find food for herself and for her baby, but there is none, that could put her in a precarious situation. All right, Clara. All right. From where you want me read it again, Maxine? Maxine, if you read it again. All right. Me I go start again from verse 11. I'm going to read again from verse 11, Sister Maxine. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right. I don't get that. I don't understand that, right? Yeah. It says false prophets. I mean, what are people gonna come to them teaching about the word, but they are really preaching erroneous stuff, false stuff. They are preaching. They are not real. Them not really come in the name of that, and they come in the name of money. Them come in the name of money, in the name of private jet, the name of Maserati. Yeah, them come in the name of big mansion. Yeah, that's the name they come in. They don't really come in the name of the Lord, but they're gonna say that that's how they have come. We see them on TV all day long. Sow your seed, bring all your money into the storehouse. We see them day and night, right now, Black? And because iniquity shall abound, and love of many shall wax cold. Yeah, people become cold-hearted, no more love for one another, no more love for community, nobody feeling as though they have any civic responsibility. Hey, Kieran, how are you doing, my love? Nobody feeling as though they have any civic responsibility. They just, people just hate each other. I wonder if this is the time now, because right now I am seeing hatred for one another like I don't think has ever existed before. Everybody's just thinking about themselves. It's just me, myself, and I. Me, 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 me. They couldn't care less what happens to their neighbor. They couldn't care less what happens to somebody beside them, around them, on the train, at the bus stop, at the job, at school. They don't care about nobody but themselves. So I'm wondering if that time is now at hand. Maxine said the heart of man will be wicked and worldly. Exactly. That's exactly what it's saying. Verse 13, he says, but he that shall endure unto the end, that person shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So is this therefore saying that this gospel is supposed to now be extended to the world, be extended now to everybody, not just the Jewish people? Let me see what Maxine says. Maxine says, Winsome said to go on right now. Yes, Winsome, you are right. Maxine says, we are living in the fulfillment. When we become lovers of ourselves, we live by feelings and not by his words. All right. Great contribution there, Sister Maxine. That sounds about right. Let me see who this Spencer Maria. How are you doing? Welcome. Verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. When he therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whosoever reads, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. I may mark that because I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean, what that is supposed to indicate. Make sure it's not in your flight is not in the winter, nor on the Sabbath day. Verse 21, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not seen the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. All right, make we read that again. He said, Maxine says, he said that he will return when his words is heard in the four corners of the earth. We are living in that time with social media all over the world. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You got a point there. I didn't even think of that just now. I appreciate you, Sister Maxine. Sister Maxine says, he said that he will return when his words are heard in the four corners of the earth. We are living in that time now where social media is taking the word to the four corners of the earth. All right, let's continue. Verse 21 says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days shall be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. Okay. So with all this that's going on, if somebody should say to you, he is Christ, he said, believe it not. For why should you not believe it? For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that If it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning comes out of the east and shines even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. People can accept the opportunity and be saved, but they cannot deny that they have not heard about the true and living God. Okay, that's what Sister Maxine wrote in the chat. Okay, she says people can accept the opportunity and be saved, but they cannot deny that they have not heard about the true and living God. Let us continue. Verse 27. For as the lightning comes out of the east and shines even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Set good, Nita. How are you doing? For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. All right, and you get that? Yeah, wherever that's a nice little parable there. Wherever the carcass is gathered, there shall be eagles, because the eagles, that's like the junkrose following dead meat. Yeah, just to put it in understandable terms for you. Yeah. So wherever he is, that's where his quote unquote saints shall gather. I figure that that's what that means. Okay, let us continue. On to verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in, in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is tender and puts forth leaves, he know that summer is near. So likewise he, when he shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knows no man, no, not the angels in heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, and you see in the Bible here, in the New Testament, they spell Noah Noe, but it's the same Noah that we had read about in the Old Testament, Noah. Maxine says, in other words, we must not allow ourselves to be deceived by false prophets. Yes, we should not allow ourselves to be deceived, because so many of them are going to come. But there's one question that pops up in my mind all the time is, how do we know which prophet is true and which prophet is not? true, because we can't just use the wealth that they gain to determine that, well, they are not true prophets. It could be that they are true prophets, but they are sort of wayward because of the love of money. But whatever they are saying could be true. But if you analyze these new day preachers, you understand that they are not really preaching. They are not really prophesying anything. Me set good. I know say I me a talk about, I me a think about too. I turn the other way with P. Diddy. But anyway, with with Diddy Epstein. But oh my gosh. Mm, getting all swallowed up. Maxine says, we know based upon the written words and the teachings of the Holy Spirit. All right. I'm just reading here what Sister Maxine is putting in the chat. They said some comments were filtered to protect the experience. I don't know. What could somebody say here that needed to be filtered? Mr. Mystica and people here see? What somebody could say here now this morning, based on what we are reading, that would require them to filter it out. Unless somebody is there saying something foul. I don't think nobody's there saying anything foul. But you know these people are they get on my nerves with this foolishness. Let us continue. Where was I? Verse 30. Let me read from verse 30 again. Verse 30 says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When its branch is yet tender and puts forth leaves, ye know that summer is near. So likewise he, when he shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at your doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass, till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels in heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left behind. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left behind. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched, and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man comes. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. But if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looks not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Hey, Earl, Rough and Pure Luxury Boutique. Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing? Welcome into the morning live, the reading of the Bible. Hmm. Well, we had some interesting readings there. This morning's reading is basically talking about the prospect of God coming out of the heaven, angels blowing trumpets, and the Son of Man, the Son of Man returning for some kind of a judgment upon the people. There are lots of people who are bounded to this belief, bounded to this ideology that one day the cloud is going to burst and there's going to be a man coming out of the cloud, and this man is going to come out and judge the people. And just like in the day of Noah, when the floods came and flooded the earth, and everybody drowned, that on this particular day that they are expecting, everybody who they claim, some people claim, are not filled with the Holy Ghost. Some people claim, you know, people have all kinds of spiritual claims on this expected event, you know, and so they use it as a way to condemn others, to say, if you are not filled with the Holy Spirit, if you are not baptized in, whatever the case may be, whatever their conviction is, they want to tell other people, if you are not of this particular conviction, this is what is going to happen to you. When this person comes out of the sky, you are going to be damned. And a lot of people believe that that time is not too far away. Y'all are free to believe whatever you all want to believe. I am not here to tell anybody how to or what to believe. You all are free. I am reading though. So if my reading this particular part of the Bible um has brought you to some kind of a conviction, just know that I am not here teaching religion. That is not my purpose. So you might have to find yourself somebody who is preaching, teaching religion, and see about your soul, if that is your interest. Let me see who else is in the chat. Pansy and Orville are here. Welcome into the live. Now, as we read this, we know that there are some who have their doubts about the prospect of this event, because we have to understand, this could also be more like one of the other parables that we have to interpret another way. Sometimes I ask myself the question, is it even practical that, there's going to be a being that's going to come out of heaven, and then there's going to be fire on the entire earth? I ask myself those questions, and I'm sure lots of people ask themselves the question too. But people don't want to say this out aloud for the mere fact that they don't want to be judged, and they don't want people to say, Lord, she a Christian, the Bible, Lord, she don't believe in it. Guys, that's why you have a brain. You have to ask questions. You can't just follow everything blindly. You have to ask questions. Maxine say, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. Turn within to the Holy Spirit, who is the connection between God and man. Jesus said he will send the Holy Spirit, who will be our teacher. Okay, so that's what Maxine said in the chat. Let me see who else is here. Hey Joe, what's up? How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right, so guys, that is where we end this morning reading. This particular reading this morning is a little bit of a brain teaser. It invites us to reevaluate what we thought we believed, or what we thought, what we were taught, or we were socialized in this aspect. And nothing is wrong with that. This is what makes life so beautiful. Everybody has a different thought process. Excuse me. Everybody has the right to reevaluate their thoughts based on new information that they have received, and whether or not they determine if that information is useful to them or not, or if it's worthy of them re-evaluating or even modifying their thought processes or their beliefs. I know that a lot of people love their religion of Christianity or whatever, and they adhere to this belief that there's going to be this particular day when the moon is going to quit shining, the sun going to quit shining, the stars going to fall and set the earth on fire, and there's going to be this massive fire that's going to burn everybody, and everything, and the earth will be purified and all this. I remember being taught all this when I was a child growing up, and the fear, I tell you, the fear that this drove in me, you know, I, and I know a lot of people, even today, if it wasn't for that fear, I said it a million times, if it wasn't for that fear of this proverbial hellfire that is being perpetrated, this ideology that's being perpetrated all over, a lot of people wouldn't even pick up a Bible, and they wouldn't even pick up a Bible. But just the thought, the fear of this hellfire, that's what is holding a lot of people hostage. And since you don't know, and I don't know, Mark says, I do ask those questions, but I leave it alone because many of the written words are indeed left up to interpretation, and that might depend upon your belief. Okay, fair enough, Sister Maxine. As a child, I was haunted by the book of Revelation. Maxine, you are not alone. You are not alone, my sister. Believe me, you are not alone. Let me tell you, I, as a child, was born and raised in the church. Whenever they read about Revelation and fire coming out of the, and boy, I tell you, and then we would have these little Bible story books that would depict an event like that in such graphic terms. Jeez, you peas, people. I was so petrified. Like tomorrow, I mean, looking up at the sky, wondering when fire is going to start falling out of the sky. Anything they say I should do at that point, I would have done, because I never want fire to fall out of the sky and burn me up. And that fear has kept a lot of people tethered to ideologies that are as unrealistic as the day is long. I literally had nightmares Until you see, Maxine says I literally had nightmares until I was in my 20s. You know, I dreamt about that thing. You know, whenever I would go to church and they would preach about this thing happening, boy, Mr. Good said the book of Enoch is more vivid than Revelation. Very scary to me. All right. Gentle say that's true. I tell you, gentle. They have this way of putting this thing to fear. And I said, this fear tactic, this fear tactic has got me now as an adult. I just think that this fear tactic, it shouldn't be. It should not be that you have to be kind to your neighbor out of fear that some fire come out of heaven and burn you up. This is just how I feel. I think it should be a naturally given aspect of every human being to have this desire to be kind to your neighbor, to exercise grace and compassion towards each other without the thought of any reward or damnation. It should be a given. Maxi, Maxi said, horses of different heads are dragons. I'm not seeing the other comments. I am double streaming, Maxine. I am double streaming, so I am on the tube and the talk. That's why you're not seeing the others. I am able to see both, but you you won't. You won't see. Um, Let me see. Mr. Good say yes. As a child, revelation, but as an adult, the book of Enoch scared me, woke me right up again. All right, I'm going to have to read the book of Enoch. I tell you, people, this fear, you know, it's like a parent with a child, and there is something you don't want the child to do, and you create this fear in this child that if they do it, what you're going to do with them. And I think it would be more important to express to the child, why is it important for you to love your neighbor? Why is it important? What's the benefit to you, to your neighbor, and to humanity that you be kind? What's the benefit? And let the child see the good in the action and be willing to accept that I want to be good to my neighbor because it makes my neighbor happy. It makes me feel good. It it causes camaraderie to develop between us, and it leads to a better society where there is peace, there is no war. We can always communicate with each other. We can be reasonable with each other, and if we disagree, we can agree to disagree peaceably. And you say that's the importance of it. But you say, if you are not good to your neighbor, you envy your neighbor, there is going to be this fire that's going to come out of heaven and burn you up. You are so afraid that you can't even be kind to your neighbor, not because you don't want to, but because you are so deathly afraid. Because your mind is more on this fire than it is on the real importance of being kind to your neighbor. Maxine says, as I grew old, I embraced the Psalms and the book of Proverbs. Yeah. Overton is there. Overton, bless up yourself, bro. How you doing? Well, you see, some people, just like you, Sister Maxine, some people, as they have gotten older, they 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 move away from this fear tactic, and people be selective into what books of the Bible they want to read. I hear people say they no longer read Revelation. When I was growing up, we used to read this book called, oh my God, this book was called again. Oh Jesus. I remember the book before I started talking about it, and then I forgot. But it was a book. It was a book written by Ellen G. White. And those of you who don't know who that is this woman, this Adventist woman who claimed that she was a prophetess of some sort, and she wrote a lot of books talking about how the world is gonna end and all this fiery stuff, and we would read those books, and I'd be like, mighty God, I am already afraid to even leave the house. I'm afraid to be angry at anybody. I'm afraid to stand up for myself. I'm afraid because Jesus, if if I ever get angry, if I ever do something, Lord, this fire is gonna come down and burn me up. And honestly speaking, today I don't want to be in fear. I love my fellow humans and treat my fellow humans with love and dignity and respect as I see fit. But I refuse to do it all because I am afraid of some kind of proverbial hellfire. The fire and brimstone is more effective at bringing the hard-headed into faith. You think so? You think so? You think so, gentle? Gentle said the fire and the brimstone is more effective at bringing the hard-headed into the faith. Believe me, if it was that way, don't you think there would be more people in the faith? Don't you? And even Miss, listen, said good, and even so, it is not working because you would think that with that threat of hellfire, more people would be inclined to do good, and more people would be determined to escape this hellfire. But it seems that more and more people, they don't really care. They more and more people are doing their own thing. They don't really care. They're still being unkind. They're still starting wars, causing wars. They are still contributing to the breakdown in society. They are still, you know, not adhering to these laws that's expected of them, and that is supposed to guide them into escaping this hellfire and this damnation. You would think that they would, at least for fear of the fire, adhere to the teachings. But that not stop them. That not stop them from pewing and lying and stealing and doing all the other things. Um, Maxine says, I am familiar with Ellen G. White again. I found comfort in the Psalms, which is more prayerful, and wisdom in Proverbs. I embrace the Holy Spirit. Okay. So see, Sister Maxine says she find comfort in the Psalm and in the Proverbs. And you are not alone in the Sister Maxine. A lot of people are very selective in the books of the Bible that they choose to focus on because it brings them comfort and peace. Not everybody wants to focus on the prospect of the morbid that the Bible represents, particularly as someone said before in the Revelation. Not everybody wants to focus on that. So people choose more subtle books of the Bible, subtle books like in the Bible, like the Psalms, the Proverbs. People also settle with Isaiah, Songs of Solomon. Some people don't mind that, don't mind reading the Songs of Solomon as well. People are very selective, and that is okay. You pick the ones that make you comfortable and you focus on those. Everybody has to find their own comfort zone and remain there, find their comfort in their own comfort zone. All right. So, guys, wow, that one was intense today. But we are going to continue. We are going to continue with the reading of the Bible. When we come, oh my God, tomorrow is Saturday, right? And you know, so guys, just because it is, I think I am going to probably record the reading tonight, today, and then play tomorrow. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe that's what I'll do. Record a reading, and then tomorrow morning we play it and maybe have a little discussion. Because when I get off of work by 8 o'clock, it's gonna be late. You know, I like doing the reading at this time of the morning, but when I'm at work, I can't possibly do so. So I could record it and then set it to play at this time. But y'all are not going to hear it on the talk. It's going to have to be over on the tube. Okay? So I'll think about that later on today, but I want to say thanks to everybody. Um, New Linda, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Well, that is, hold on there, what's it good? I have a question. Okay, hold on, me nearly missed this, sis. Me nearly missed it. I have a question. Anyone here ever read the book of Enoch? Just curious. Me hear somebody say them read the book of Enoch. Me never read it. I have never read it, my love. I am going to have to seek it out though to read it because I hear everybody say people talk about the book of Enoch and what is in the book of Enoch, and I think I should find it and take a read. Maxine says she has not read it. So I'm going to find it and see if maybe we can read it online so that those who have never read it can also hear it. Maxine says, do you do this every day? Basically, almost every day, Maxine. You can safely say every morning I come here and do this. On a morning like tomorrow, I work tonight, so I'm going to be leaving work tomorrow morning, maybe like 8 o'clock, somewhere around there. So when I leave work, a lot of times, I really don't like to read the Bible that late because it takes me into like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I have to go to sleep to wake up to come to go back to work. So I don't usually like to do that. On a Saturday morning, I like to come here and talk about all the things that's been happening in the news all week. But but for tomorrow, since it's Easter time and we are getting to the resurrection, the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus, we are going to be here tomorrow and Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, so whenever I don't work the night before, I am here around this time, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. But whenever I work the night before, I can't possibly be here at that time. So tomorrow morning, we are going to say we'll be here maybe by 8:30. Maybe by 8:30. Sunday morning, the same thing. Monday morning, the same thing. But when it comes to Tuesday and Wednesday morning, we will be here at 4. Yeah, so you all don't forget, you all put on your notifications so that whenever I am on, you all will hear because I cannot put a specific time. Yeah, I can't. That wouldn't be fair for me to put a specific time and then you all come looking for me while I'm at work. That makes no sense. And sometimes I don't know what time I'm gonna leave work. So I can't say, okay, I'm gonna leave work at 7:30 on the dot, and so I'm gonna have the live at 8 o'clock. I can't do that. Yeah. So it is whenever I'm done at work and I leave, then that's when we do this. If possible, send a message you live so I can join. Okay. Okay, where are my mods? So you hear that for Miss Set Good. Set Good says she don't mind getting a notification so she can know when I am live. All right. I appreciate you, Maxine. I thank you so much for your contribution to the live and to everybody else who has contributed to the live. Card, Winsome, Maxine, Gentle B, Miss Set Good. I know Gangster Granny was here. I see Gangster Granny here all the time. I appreciate you. I thank you so much. Watch a Kazen. Kuya see you now. Kazen, good morning, my brother. How you doing, my love? Good to see you. Happy Easter. You be at born Kazen or you buy born? Which one is it? All the Jamaicans here, we're not eating a bun and cheese. Lord of His mercy. Because you know, today at Easter, Jamaicans start eating bun and cheese from yesterday, yesterday was Holy Thursday. So them start eating bun and cheese and drink milk. And that's what I do. Bun and cheese and drink milk. I can't say no bun round here. Me I talk the bun where you eat, you know. Me not talk about the bun where you get. Me I talk about the bun where you eat. It's Easter. We can't do without bun and duck bread. Yeah, we gotta eat our bun and duck bread. Ah boy, me used to love those things when me back home. So now I make my own bun. Yeah, make my own bun. It give me more pleasure making my own bun than buying one bun. Honestly, even though making my own bun cost me more than the bun that I'm going to buy. But I rather that. Kids and same don't know the difference. Watch yourself. Maxine, really? Maxine said I have not had bun and cheese since I left Jamaica as a child. When Jamaica had the pound. Mighty God, that's probably all before me born. Or when me a little pitney. Or from when Jamaica stopped have pounds. Stop use pound. No from no more than 50 years now, Jamaica stop use pound. And you know have bun and cheese? No man, something wrong, but I know the Bible. Me get enough bun in my life. Trust me. Me get enough bun in my life. If I don't get no more bun, I will be just fine. What bun me get in my life could I open one dozen bakery? How come me never see Maxine message? Because Maxine up on the tube. Maxine is on the tube and on the on TikTok. Go on and work, Kazen. Be safe, my love. Be safe. You know what I mean, Maxine, child? What bun me get in my life, I could have opened my dozen bakery. So therefore, me not even go look bun no more. Me make my own. I'm used to having the bun brought home to me. So now, me make my own bun at home. Me not have to I don't have to bring it home. Guys, you're not gonna keep me here this morning. Now keep me here this morning and this thing here though. I'm gonna go get myself together. It's Easter Friday. I will see you all later, my friends. I sincerely appreciate all of you and your contribution into the live chat. I sincerely appreciate you all. Now, I know a lot of you are going to go watch the resurrection on TV or stuff like that. Go ahead and enjoy yourselves and have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Okay, guys, have yourselves a great day, guys. Until next time. This is Trev from Trev Essence, where your journey matters. Have yourselves a good day, everybody.